a whole bunch of shit coming out in regards to The Witcher. For one,
Oh man.
CD Projekt has announced The Witcher remake built from the ground up with Unreal Engine 5. This is what they were calling Canis Majoris back in the project list names that we got last week. It's made by a Polish studio, Fool's Theory, as well as veteran Witcher staff. So look at that. Witcher 1, no longer, um, as you described it, completely unplayably garbage.
No, the phrase that I love to use is actually it is a fucked up game for crazy people.
Sure.
Um, I have a news flash for everyone. It will still be a fucked up game for crazy people, but it'll control a lot better.
So yeah, the sex cards was the one thing I knew about that series. Like, I wonder if they're gonna stick with that. How much would you be willing for them to change when it's now? We're not talking about Resident Evil 4. We're not talking about Silent Hill 2. We're talking about a game that, like as you described, has so many flaws that
Oh, literally
it's
just redo the
barely
game in the
unplayable.
style of Witcher 3. That's it.
Okay, just put
The
it.
story and the environment and all that quest stuff is actually completely on point. It's just the way it controls and the fact that it's always falling apart.
Don't try to update the systems as they are and improve them. Just just copy Witcher 3 and bring the
Just
assets over.
just take all the stories and the levels and just put them into The Witcher 3.
Okay.
That's
Um
it.
so uh there also was word that Henry Cavill has been fighting the showrunners for years on aspects of what Geralt should be like in the show, and it seems like he finally gave up because Liam Hemsworth is going to be replacing him in season 4.
Yeah, so it's come out that the people writing the Witcher show are like, man, these books are stupid. I want to write my own shit.
That's the next part of it. That's the next part of it. Yeah,
And
I
Henry Cavill was like, yeah, I'm out. I don't want to deal with this crap. But goodbye. I'm going to be Superman.
so I'm kind of wondering if being Superman, seeing as that's returning with the whole Black Adam bit and whatever, is like, since that's what they're kind of hyping up, is it a matter of like I'm dropping this to kind of go do this other role that'll be taking up my time, or was it always going to be like I was going to do everything, but these reasons give me a reason to walk away?
He was pretty adamant when he started that the reason he signed on was they promised him that they were going to stay faithful to the book rendition. And
Okay,
that
okay.
was like his line in the sand.
So here's what's odd though. As someone who hasn't watched the show, seems like people really like it and consider it pretty good.
There's some it's a weird show.
So it's interesting that that's the case. Also, I want to say the author came out and said that he approves of Henry Cavill's portrayal and that he thought he did a really good job.
Well, I mean, that guy's going to he learned his
Um,
lesson. He's going to approve of all the deals that give him the monies.
okay, because it's yeah for sure. I kind of like that definitely sounds like a different tone from the game deal back in the day. But regardless, I'm kind of yeah like it's interesting to see that like something that was everyone was kind of referring to it as more or less a successful adaptation. He's walking away from it because like they're not delivering on what he wanted from respecting the original series. There's a whole interview then that kind of describes the attitude that he had, and essentially that Geralt in the books has more internal dialogue and monologue rather, and you get to, you know, be clued into his feelings a bit more, and that on camera you can't obviously fully adapt someone's internal feelings. So he wants him to talk more and to have more lines to kind of, you know, show that he's more than I guess what he described as one dimensional.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I'm still catching up on the books, so I can't vouch on what's an accurate portrayal. But I will say that Cavill's acting for Geralt correctly synced up with my portrayal of him from the games, which is exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, if I had to describe one Geralt of Rivia, the character, in a single sentence, it would be he is very tired.
Yeah, and it sounds like he kind of didn't want him to just be a curmudgeon. Um, what was the word he used? There was something he used to describe that kind of attitude. But um, they seem to the writers seem like they're not going to be making those changes regardless. And related to this story is one from Beau DeMayo, who was a writer on the Witcher series, left and is now heading up the X-Men 97 series that's going to be coming out, which is, if you haven't seen it, it's like, the literally 1997 X-Men show. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
It's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to animate it the way they did in 97 as well.
You mean badly?
Yeah. That's awesome. It's gonna they're going for exactly the way it looked back then too, which sounds super interesting to me. I'm super down with the Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10 type thing for a TV show like that. Look, very interested. But regardless, the showrunner left the Witcher series, and he said that some of the writers on The Witcher actively disliked the books and the games when he was working on it. And so his number one rule for X-Men 97 was, you're not going to be able to work on this unless you're a fan. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy.
It's funny because it's very interesting because I got about halfway through Witcher 1's first season, and I was like, it's fine, was my takeaway. Apparently that was the first season. It was like, it's okay to good. And then the second season went right off the rails in terms of quality and distance from the source material. And it's like, dude, how many times do we have to watch something go, hey, we're going to adapt this? And everyone goes, yeah. And then they go, we're not going to adapt it anymore. And no one goes, yeah, except the one guy whose idea was, and then it fucking crashes and burns. Can you think of one adaptation ever that flew off the rails from the original artist's interpretation and everybody loved it? Because I can think of one. And it's the fact that Stephen King does not like The Shining.
Certainly.
Because I think that
we've had variations of this conversation. The Boys.
Yeah,
The
but see,
Boys.
The Boys is the Boys comic is garbage.
Fight Club. Shit. What was the other thing that just came to mind too? Shit. I had one.
So people are mentioning a couple of things, and I have to say,
All You Need Is Kill.
Yeah. How many of those things were bad, and then the changes turned them into something good? Because
bad into good.
The situation I'm talking about is when you have something that is already good, and you're like, I'm going to change it so that it's my gooder. I don't know. It seems like a recipe for failure.
Yeah. A lot of people saying Watchmen. Well, I haven't seen the Watchmen TV show, but I was interested in checking it out. I never got around to it. I mean, I'm assuming they mean that more than the Snyder movie.
I hope so.
Yeah, that seems to be what they're talking about. Yeah.
I just saw somebody say Dexter was horrible, but not nearly as horrible as the book series it was based off of. Which I don't know where that fits in. I don't know where that flies in.
A lot of people have a lot of really good things to say about FMA Brotherhood. As someone who
I'd say that. That's a great show.
It's also a great manga, and the original series was pretty all right. It was all right. I would be curious to see if anyone thinks is Brotherhood better than the manga like source material.
I
Definitely.
mean, I would say that it is by
Yeah.
default.
Interesting. Okay.
But my opinion on that is it's tainted
Music
because
and sounds make it, and color make it better.
it's literally, I read the manga and I was up to date on the manga, and then I started watching 2003, and I got to the point where the little what's her name? Is it Jiaoling? I can't remember. The little girl with the panda.
Sorry.
I fucking forget her name. What's her name?
In
May. Yeah, I got to the point where May should have shown up, and she didn't. And I'm like, where the fuck is she? And then stuff started like being different, and I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? This is wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be. And then I looked up as to what actually was happening with that, and I'm like, what is this bullshit? Why is it wrong? And that's why it is bad. So don't listen to my opinion on that, because it has nothing to do with its actual quality. It just has to do with me having caught up to the manga and then going, oh, I wonder how they adapted this. And then having just episode after episode of, what the fuck is this bullshit? That's, oh!
Yeah, no, 2003 FMA ends on a rushed, we don't know the ending, we don't have time, weird note into Conqueror of Shambhala. So I wouldn't make the comparison between that and Brotherhood. I would say compare it to the source material directly. Compare it straight to the manga, you know? Yeah. Oh, yeah, and yeah, Hellsing, there's Hellsing as well, which got Hellsing Ultimate later, and anyways, it happens, but it's rare. In this case, though, with the thing about like you have to appreciate the source material to add to its lore, its canon. That's a fucking sick ass qualifier for sure. There is something to be said that just being a fan is not enough for you to be like qualified to work on something. There have been instances of just like all you have is being a fan, and thus you have nothing new to say or nothing new to do or to write, and all you do is kind of just try to echo something from the past, try to recreate a moment that already existed, and just try to do nothing really interesting with a franchise. Or in some cases, like the fan-controlled writing or thing with, like there's like a He-Man series that was basically almost like fan written or whatever.
Hey, listen, you know, listen.
You gotta be someone who appreciates the source material, but you also have to be a talented enough writer in and of your own respects, and that combination is what brings out the best.
Hey, Wooly. Hey. What if? Okay, our main character, he killed somebody, and he's haunted by that. And so when he goes to Silent Hill, demons attack him that remind him of how he killed that guy. Huh? Well, think about it. What game am I describing? I'm describing like 4 games.
Yeah, if you have to choose between a hack that is a fan of the work and a hack who is not a fan of the work, let's hire the one who is, so that at the very least they will just try to copy the thing. But both of those still suck. And the person who tries to go, I hate this, I have a better idea, let's put Superman in a skin suit and have him fight a giant spider, because that's what I think is interesting, is the worst possible thing. And like, that's how you destroy a franchise.
I think the Superman in the skin suit and the fucking giant spider thing, that was pretty funny, but it wasn't nearly as funny until I connected it to Wild Wild West. Which is literally the exact same fucking movie as the failed Superman script.
Well, Kevin Smith connected it. That's the punchline of the story.
Right. Now, I thought, here's the thing. I saw the first story, and then I saw Kevin Smith saying it again later, and that's why I have it separately. But yeah, no, it's fucking, oh my God.
Right.
Put a big spider in it.
But yeah, no, someone who is a fucking talented writer in and of themselves, and then they go, oh, I like this thing, I have a good idea for it. That's when you're fucking walking you're walking on
You know what we need to do?
Gold Street.
We need to get rid of all the writers and put them with the voice actors in the ocean.
There you go. Just throw them all out.
And every time this happens in some part of a creative endeavor, just take that whole batch and just kick them off the project. Lighting people out. Gaffers, get the fuck out of here. Those dudes that hold the boom mic over the scene, get the fuck out of here.
There is one example I could think of like a writer that's like, I kind of hate this, but I like this, but I also kind of hate it. I have an idea, which is Drew Karpyshyn with KOTOR, right? Where like the best parts of that are like the contempt for the world. Like, oh yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll take that. That works out really well. Kreia is the best, you know. But that's you have to be very, very good to weave that
Star
web.
Wars fucking stupid? What's that, Kreia? Nothing.
God, she hates Disney.
No, it was Chris Avalo who wrote Kreia, not Drew.
Oh, my bad. Was he just part one?
I think so. He's the Mass Effect guy for Mass Effect 1 and 2.
I thought he did the KOTORs. Okay, excuse me. I would love a like KOTOR world at Star Wars Star Tours and Disney, where you've got an old Kreia like outfit walking around, and she just hates being there. She hates existing in, and you're like, yeah, let's take a picture, and she's like, get away from me, ha! and she just walks up to like random park goers and criticizes them on everything they do. Damn, that'd be great. Yeah. So being a fan is important, but it's not all. But if you hate the thing you're working on and you're just trying to get your credits, fuck you. You're destroying something that people care about. And in some cases, if that leads to it failing, then the studios will be like, well, that flopped, and clearly no one likes this thing. And we don't know why, except they must just hate the name and the way it looks, so that's the end of that.
Umbrella Chronicles sold poorly on the Switch or the Wii. Fuck it. It's no more Resident Evil games, losers. Actually, no, it was Umbrella Chronicles sold well on the Switch. Here's Dark Side Chronicles. Wait, that sold poorly? Oh, I guess you don't want Resident Evil games. God damn it.
Yeah. Anyways, all right.